All right, I will call this meeting of the Westland City Council to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led tonight by Councilwoman Rakowski.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Thank you. I'll remind everyone that in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, as regards virtual meetings, please announce your location by county, municipality, and state. Councilman Godbout.
Attending the meeting virtually from Wayne County, city of Westland, Michigan.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green.
Attending remotely from Wayne County, Westland, Michigan.
Thank you. Councilman Hersberg.
Here, attending remotely from Wayne County, Westland, Michigan.
Thank you. Pro Tem Londo.
Good evening. I'm attending this meeting remotely from Wayne County, Westland, Michigan.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rakowski.
Good evening. I'm present attending this meeting virtually, Wayne County, Westland, Michigan.
And he probably thinks I skipped over him. Councilman McDermott.
I didn't think that at all. Good evening. Attending this meeting virtually from Wayne County, Westland, Michigan.
Thank you. President Hart.
Thank you. Attending virtually from Wayne County, Westland, Michigan.
Thank you. A quorum is present.
Thank you. Special presentations and announcements tonight. We have our very own Kyle Mulligan. Can't hear you yet, Kyle. So if you got audio, let's figure out how to get you working.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Perfect. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, council and residents of Westland. I wanted to give two quick announcements today. First, I just wanted to give a big thanks to all the volunteers who helped at the park cleanup on Saturday. The Westland JCs, the Westland Chamber of Commerce, as well as members from our Parks Advisory Board, Westland Council members, and residents all joined in the efforts of cleaning up JC Park and Cayley Park and Lincoln Johnson Field last Saturday. I really appreciate all of the members who were out there helping, and just wanted to give another big thank you to everybody who's continuing to be out there. We picked up a lot of stuff, and it's really great to see residents of Westland coming together on a Saturday morning to help make the parks look better. I look forward to seeing this program continue to grow. Saturday, June 19th at 10 a.m. will be our next cleanup day. We will be meeting at Stottlemyre Park in the Annapolis subdivision. The address is 4801 Dancy Boulevard in Westland. And if residents are interested in volunteering, please reach out to my department. My phone number is 734-722-7620. Lastly, next Monday at City Hall, Monday, May 24th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., the American Red Cross will be here administering the Boots and Badges blood drive in the Grand Ballroom. Appointments are available and must be scheduled in advance prior to the drive. Blood donors will receive a t-shirt that I am showing here for donating. And they will also be supporting either the Westland Fire Department or the Westland Police Department. To sign up, you have to go to redcrossblood.org and use the promo code Westland, or you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS. That number is 1-800-733-2767. Schedule appointees will again have the option when they donate to put their life chip in the boot of the fire department or the hat of the police department. And whichever department has the most support at the end of the drive will win the blood drive trophy. I actually have it here tonight. This is the blood drive trophy that they are going to be competing for. It's really cool to see this. This is from Great Lakes Trophy, so we appreciate their support. This is going to be a coveted award moving forward, and I would like to ask Fire Chief Morris and Police Chief Jeff Jedruzik if they are ready for the competition and if they have any couple words. Thank you very much.
Sure. Through the chair, I'll say a couple words. Thank you, Kyle, for setting this up. We've done several of these Battle of the Badge competitions over the years. We've pretty consistently beat the fire department at golf and dodgeball. So I think it's good. We're going to give them an opportunity to win something maybe in the medical field, give them a chance a little bit. But now, kidding aside, during COVID, blood donations are down, and this is a great cause, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And good luck to the new fire chief. He's got to earn some wins for his team over there. Thanks.
Chief Morris, do you have a response to that?
Ouch, you could go a little easier on the new guy. I realize I've only been here about 90 days, but I'm a person. I do have feelings. But, you know, Westland's bravest will always show their best. I think the boot probably has a little more to fill than the hat. I'm just guessing, but it's probably a good thing that the fire department is used to seeing blood more than the police department. So I think our guys will do well, and looking forward to a good competition. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, we'll move into comments or input on the agenda from the public. Section will allow a person to be recognized only at the beginning of the meeting to address the council pertaining to items that are specifically on the business agenda. Questions asked will be answered during the agenda item following a motion and support from the council. We'll go ahead and view. First hand raise, last name Buyer.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
I can begin.
Okay, thank you. So first off, I'd like to congratulate Jim Hart for his graduation. I know it's not on the calendar, so maybe I should hold it off, but congrats. Hope NBA, maybe. You can shake your head. I'm watching you. So good job. From there on, I'd like to talk about the mayor's appointments for the Economic Development Corporation Tax Incentive Authority / Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. I'm very curious. There's nothing about, I love that all these appointments are being made, like they're empty seats. So that's great. But I'm curious about all the committees and commissions and boards that I mentioned last time. What about those expired seats? Are we going to fill them, or is it on the agenda for next council meeting? Just something to think about. Also, the Parks and Rec that just talked, the director, I'm curious to see if to volunteer, will there be signups on Facebook, or is it going to be the water bill?
Mr. Buyer, you will have to keep it to agenda items, so.
Okay, my apologies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just cut it off there. I'll leave it all to the end. Thank you.
Yep. All right, next I have last name Sedman.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I wanted to make a comment about an item on the agenda, item number 8, under new business, for approving a liquor license for the Hush property over on Cherry Hill in Newburgh. I find it interesting that we'll have booze and axe throwing at that place, which is alarming to me, and that we can't approve a gas station for Kroger and we can't approve a plasma center, but axe throwing sounds like a really good idea combined with liquor. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next, I have phone number ending in 017.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can.
Richard Graham from Westland and with Move Westland Forward. Looks like a full agenda tonight, especially new business. However, only the second time this year. Regarding items 8, 9, 10, on new business and especially items 8 and 10. Item 10 is a wine tasting room, and I think nothing like this exists in Westland, but has been very popular in surrounding communities for quite a few years now. Item 8 is a liquor license for Legendary Axe at what is now Hush, or the old Skateland. This is also new to the community and was really great at a similar type of business in Novi when I visited probably almost a couple years now. Hopefully council approves all three, and especially Team Wild, based on past practices of denying businesses that meet the requirements. One more item. It was interesting reading the business plan for Legendary Axe. Very good business plan, enjoyed reading it. Most interesting was on page 100 of the agenda. This is regarding Hush that is open around the Halloween season. Their customer study from 2019 showed that 98% of their customers came from outside of Westland, and in fact came from 27 states, 1 U.S. territory, and 2 Canadian provinces. Only 2% came from Westland, which I personally found astonishing that it was so low, but then again, not surprising by the significant lack of business growth coupled by a declining population over the last 10 plus years under Mayor Wild. So look forward to the new business items today, and thank you very much.
Okay. Are there any other comments on the, or input on the agenda? Excuse me. All right, I'll close citizen input on the agenda, move to the consent calendar. Is there a motion?
So moved. Londo.
Support,
Councilman
McDermott.
Kelsey has their hand up.
I have a motion by Councilman Londo, supported by Councilman McDermott. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. We have discussion already. It comes from Councilwoman Rakowski.
I've been doing so good unmuting until right now. I would request that item D be placed on new business.
Motion to move item D to new business. Is there support?
Support, Londo.
Supported by Councilman Londo. A lot of hands up, so any discussion on the move? So I think your hands are up for other reasons right now, so, all right. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Move item D to new business 1A, Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, so I think there's further discussion. So Councilman Rakowski has her hand up still, but I'm going to go to Councilman McDermott next. Councilman McDermott.
Well, good evening. Thank you. Just wanted to discuss really briefly item H, and thank you for putting that on the agenda. For those unfamiliar with item H, that is the PRO Act. That is a national piece of legislation that Congress and the Senate are looking to take up nationally. The PRO Act supports the working men and women, working people across this country in their right to form a union, to make it easier to join a union, and to have a free and fair collective bargaining process. We know that unions are the backbone of a middle-class economy, and there's numerous economic data out there that shows that when men and women, working men and women across this country, get the right to organize freely and fairly and collectively bargain, that we know we all do better, and that wages across the economy go up for everyone. So really excited to see our city council support the PRO Act. And thank you to all of our hardworking unions here in the city, our police officers association, our sergeants and lieutenants, our firefighters, DPW, UAW. AFSCME, thank you for all the work you do each and every day. And thank you, Council President Hart, for putting it on the agenda to recognize the PRO Act. Thank you.
All right, next hand up I have is Council President Pro Tem Londo.
Thank you. I was going to move that item for further discussion. Did you want me just to make my comments now? McDermott summed it up really good. I can move it if you'd like, and we can have further discussion.
Deliberate during the consent calendar.
I was planning to move it. I had my hand raised. I was the motion maker, and unfortunately,
I missed you.
didn't get a chance to move it. So, did you want me to move it to new business?
If you want to speak on it more, that'd be
Yes, please. Can we please move item H to new business item? What would it be? 1B. Mr. Clerk, 1B. Item 1B, please.
All right. Is there support to move that?
Support, McDermott.
All right. Is there any discussion on moving it? Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Move consent item H to new business 1B. Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
yes,
Councilwoman Rakowski,
yes,
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Is there any other discussion on the consent calendar? Okay, Mr. Clerk, roll call.
On the consent calendar, as amended, Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
yes,
Councilwoman Rakowski.
yes,
I believe I heard President Hart, Mr. Clerk, and I'll say yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Council has approved the following consent calendar items. Approval of minutes of the special meeting held May 10, 2021. Request from Tim Sumter of Big Sky Fireworks to operate a seasonal temporary fireworks tent in the Coliseum Racket Club parking lot, 34250 Ford Road, June 28, 2021 through July 5, 2021, with hours of operation 10 o'clock a.m. until 8 p.m. daily. Approval of request from Nico Jonah, A1 Fireworks, to operate a seasonal temporary fireworks tent in the parking lot of Jonah's Market, 8631 North Newburgh Road, from June 22, 2021 through July 5, 2021, with the hours of operation 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. daily. This request includes a waiver from Ordinance 248A80, Section 413C1, which states the length of a temporary use or sales event shall not exceed 7 days during a season, except that sales of Christmas trees are permitted for up to 45 days. Approval of request from Len Fisher of the Inspire Theater to host an outdoor presentation of the play The 39 Steps for 3 weekends beginning June 11, 2021 through June 27, 2021. It will run from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. and it will take place directly behind the theater located at 33455 Warren Road. Traffic Control Order 2021-01. Install one stop sign on eastbound Executive Drive in front of 38205 Executive Drive on the southwest corner of Executive. Install one stop sign on northbound Executive Drive at 6202 North Executive Drive. The last item approved on the consent calendar, approval of the City of Westland's MERS Defined Benefit Plan Adoption Agreement Addendum. Moving to new business. Item 1. Approval of minutes of the regular meeting held May 3, 2021.
So moved. Hersberg.
support Rutkowski,
I have motion and support by Council Members Hersberg and Rakowski. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Tim Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
yes,
Councilwoman Rakowski,
yes,
President Hart.
Staying due to absence.
Motion passes. New business, item 1A. Just a moment to back up. Item 1A. Request from Jason Joseph and Joanne Jenkins of Cabot Lab to operate a temporary rapid COVID-19 testing facility in the parking lot of Westland Crossing Shopping Center, 34518 through 34794 Warren Road, beginning May 18, 2021, with the hours of operation 9 a.m. until 6 p.m., 7 days a week. This request includes a waiver from Ordinance 248A80, Section 413C1, which states the length of a temporary use or sales event shall not exceed 7 days during the season, except that sales of Christmas trees are permitted for up to 45 days.
So moved, Hersberg.
Support Green.
Motion by Councilman Hersberg, supported by Councilmember Green. Let's go ahead. We have some discussion real quick. Now, this came directly from the petitioner. I don't know if we have any other input. I'll ask the maker and supporter if they have any discussion first. Councilman Hersberg.
Not at this time. I'd like to hear from Councilwoman Rutkowski.
Very good. Councilwoman Green, do you have any discussion at the moment?
Yes, I have several concerns about this item. Number one, there's no cover sheet from the administration explaining their recommendation to allow this. There is already a major COVID testing site a block away at City Hall. And after speaking with testing officials, the number at that site are not high. So we're not being overrun with traffic at City Hall, which again is 1 block away from the mall. And so I'm concerned about, 1, why are we recommending this? 2, this is a random company out of Texas. And there is no documentation in the packet that details their medical qualifications, who's going to administer the testing. Much of this testing goes directly into the nostrils and close to the brain area. There is nothing that states that these people have been certified, qualified to offer any type of medical services in the state of Michigan. There's one picture, I think, of what they're proposing on page 43 of the packet. The picture actually looks extremely uninviting, in my opinion. It's a pod with a gasoline can inside of the pod. There's a generator plugged up and a porta potty set up right next to it. That's the photo that they gave us as an example. I will tell you that when I set that testing site up on the south side of Westland, I was contacted by a company out of New York randomly. And this particular company went into detail in terms of how lucrative the testing business is now under FEMA. It is an extremely lucrative business now. This testing company went on to offer me a financial incentive to help them set up testing sites in the city of Westland, which I absolutely told them, hell no. I don't take kickbacks and I don't do business like that. So the answer is no. But my concern is we have a random company out of Texas. The city is not explaining why they're even recommending a major testing site 1 block away from the major testing site that we already have at City Hall. We don't have any medical credentials. I mean, it's just a random, a variety of concerns that I have, in addition to the information that they included in the packet. It was basically a 1-page letter that they're requesting to set this testing site up. And I'm really confused. Why are we allowing this? And why is there not sufficient information in terms of us allowing a company out of Texas to set up a testing site, again, a very lucrative testing site. And we don't have anything to even assure our residents that they're in good hands. I'm not saying they're not. I don't know this company, but I do know that the other testing sites that were set up at City Hall and the one that I set up on the south side was done through the Wayne County Health Department. So those officials we know are trained and properly licensed. So I have a variety of concerns about even agreeing to something like this. It makes no sense to me when it's 1 a block away. So you're going to put 2 major testing sites within a block away? That it makes no sense to me. So I'm looking forward to hearing hopefully some sort of reasonable explanation. Thank you.
Next hand up I had was from Councilwoman Rakowski.
Thank you, President Hart. You know, there isn't a lot of information. However, the one suggestion that I would like to impose, if I may, is that there isn't a permanent testing site in the south end of town. And to Councilwoman Green's point, there is one at the City Hall, and there's another one at our golf course at the Mac Mayfield Municipal Course. I would be curious to know if the petitioner would be willing to locate to the south end of town. If there's a reasonable spot for them to be located there, perhaps with the Kroger site there on Merriman and Michigan or something similar to that. But there's not a permanent site, and we have two up here. And, you know, the access is limited to those residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Pro Tem, I'm going to answer the mayor. He was up next. And if you're all right with it, I'm going to let the petitioner, if they're on, be able to address some of the questions. So I'd like them to be able to answer if that's all right. So we didn't have it introduced in a normal way. It's getting a little clunky. So I want to make sure we hear from them. Mayor, please.
Yeah, just real quick. There was not a cover sheet from the administration because this one did not come from the administration. So when the operation that council recently approved to set up at the Mac Mayfield Golf Course, when they originally had contacted the city, they did it through the planner's office, and they actually wanted to go right across from City Hall over by on the border. And we had suggested to them that they look for a location in either the middle of the city or in the south end of the city. So that's why they chose that location. And I think Councilwoman Rakowski's point was well taken, that I think we're well represented at in the north end of the city and probably the middle of the city. So we could work with this petitioner for a site in the south, and if it was something that both the petitioner and the council wanted us to pursue. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to give a chance. I don't know if the petitioner's on. If you are on in the Zoom app, please use the raise hand feature. I will find you in the attendees file. Okay, I'm not seeing the petitioner respond, so they won't be able to have voice. If you do have an issue, I'm going to take Pro Tem's question next here. So, but if you do, raise your hand if you are in the audience, you're just having a hard time with it. Pro Tem Londo.
Thanks, President Hart. I really wanted to hear from the petitioner, actually, and I would agree with Councilwoman Rakowski of trying to find a better location, more in the south end of town or even the middle of town, since we do have the, as was stated, a COVID testing site at Westland City Hall. So I guess at this point, if the petitioner's not here, I guess I'll hear from my colleagues, see if they want to make a motion to deny or table it maybe, so we can hear from the petitioner.
Is that a motion to table, Pro Tem?
I'll make a motion to table so we can hear from the petitioner.
Support Hersberg.
All right, there's a motion to table. Mr. Clerk. Roll call.
To table this item, Councilman Godbout.
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
I just have a question. Is there no discussion allowed on this motion?
No discussion.
I'm sorry?
No discussion.
Thank you. Yeah, yes.
Councilman Hersberg.
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
The motion to table has been adopted unanimously. Please be advised that there is no time frame associated with it. New business. Wait, if I can, because I was trying to catch up, please verify who supported that motion. Was it Councilman Hersberg?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. New business, item 1B, which was consent item H. Adoption of prepared resolution relating to the 2021 Protecting the Right to Organize Act.
So moved. Hersberg.
Support Londo.
Motion by Councilman Hersberg, supported by Councilman Londo. Is there any discussion from the maker and supporter? Councilman Londo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, President Hart. I appreciate Councilman McDermott with his lengthy response to this. I know he's in support of it. I talked to him the other day, so I appreciate that. I pulled this item because I wanted to just take a minute to thank President Hart for putting us on the agenda along with Mayor Wild. I know the mayor supported this as well, so I appreciate that. Councilman McDermott touched on it, but I'll just briefly talk about what the PRO Act is. The PRO Act stands for Protecting the Right to Organize, which was introduced by Senator Patty Murray from Washington and Rep. Robert C. Bobby Scott from Virginia, which restores the right of workers to freely and fairly form a union and bargain together for changes in the workplace. The PRO Act is a landmark worker empowerment, civil rights, and economic stimulus legislation, and an essential part of any plan to build back better from the COVID-19 pandemic and recession. Many of us up here are pro-labor and having those connections with labor, particularly the AFL-CIO. They reached out to a few of us and asked us if we'd be in support of this. And I just wanted to state for the record that I am in support of this and I'll be voting yes.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Councilman Hersberg.
Thank you. I'll just echo the comments of Council members McDermott and Londo. I'll be in support too. It puts in a lot of protections for collective bargaining. And I want to thank the council president for bringing this forward. Just a couple of questions. Who drafted this resolution, and was the attorney's office involved?
Sorry, the resolution was in template and we it was boilerplate. So we filled it out. It's a similar resolutions being adopted by many other municipalities right now. So it's boilerplate.
Okay, appreciate it. Just a little concerned that, I've brought up resolutions in the past that I've had to jump through a number of hoops to get it on the agenda. The same with Councilwoman Green. So just a little concerning that, this one comes out of nowhere without a study session, but I will be in support.
Is there any other discussion? Roll call.
My hand is up, actually.
Oh, I didn't see it up. I do apologize. Councilwoman Green.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to say that I am also in full support of this resolution. And Westland is pretty much a blue collar union city. We have at least three unions that our city employees are under. And I frankly would like to see Westland do a lot more with labor. It's very nice to put forward a resolution, but if we're giving all of our city contracts to businesses that are not, they don't hire union employees and they are not affiliated with the union, what good is a resolution if all of our money is going to private contractors? So I'd like to see us do more than just something that is figuratively nice, but actually put our money where our mouth is when it comes to labor in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Councilwoman Rakowski.
Thank you, President Hart, and thank you to my colleagues that have all spoken in support of this resolution. I'm very proud to be part of this council today and passing the PRO Act. To echo the sentiments, we all know that this is a city that is populated by those who participate in labor and unions, and the backbone of the functioning of our city truly is done with union labor. To echo some comments that were already made, I think this is a wonderful first step in moving towards responsible contracting, and I look forward to seeing that coming forward as well. We have a responsibility when we have these new rescue plan dollars to make sure that they're used responsibly, and that when we do make changes to our buildings and our infrastructure, that we're using our union labor, and when we cannot use our union labor, that we are using other union labor. So I'm in support of this and I will be voting in favor.
Is there any other discussion? All right, I see no other hands raised. It sounds like all of us are pretty much in support of this, and I kind of echo the comments someone had earlier. I think this is kind of a first step is the PROAC, and then we look at, this is the gesture, the declaration, and then we look at some opportunities in the future where we put some more things in place to ensure that things like this are happening, right? Checks and balances, certified payroll being one of them, so I mean, there's a lot of opportunity moving forward, and I think we're working together, and especially as we look into the recovery dollars and all the things that we're going to be doing. This is pretty much happening, maybe a little late, but it is the right time to get it done now. So I'm excited to have this on this agenda. So if there's no other comment, I will call for roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. New business, item 2, approval of minutes of budget study session held May 1, 2021.
So moved. Hersberg.
Support McDermott.
I have motion and support by Councilman Hersberg and McDermott. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Abstain.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Councilman Londo, Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business, item 3, confirmation of appointment of Geraldine Mauer to the Downtown Development Authority to fill an unexpired term with the term to expire October 1, 2022.
So moved.
Support Rutkowski.
Motion by Councilman Londell, supported by Councilman Rakowski. Is there any discussion? Mayor, did you have anything to add?
It just council, this is to fill a 4-year term, which will expire on May 17th, 2025. Reverend Henrietta Grossemini, I hope I said that right, is the priest in charge at St. John's Episcopal Church, which is on the corner of Bayfield and Wayne Road.
All right, is there any other discussion? Roll call.
As you vote this item, please be aware that this is for Geraldine Mauer.
Yep.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. New business, item 4, confirmation of appointment of Reverend Henrietta Grossemini to the Downtown Development Authority for a 4-year term with the term to expire May 17, 2025.
So moved Rutkowski.
Support. Hersberg.
Motion by Councilman Rakowski and supported by Councilman Hersberg. Is there any discussion? Mary, you want to go again?
Yeah, you guys are going to be amazed at how much this appointment sounds a lot like the last one. So I apologize. I had my appointments out of order. So the Reverend is going on the DA. The prior appointment should have for Mrs. Mauer, who was not on the call tonight. She is the HR director from the Wayne Westland Federal Credit Union. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. New business, item 5, confirmation of appointment of LaShawn Hart to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council to fill an unexpired term with the term to expire December 31, 2021.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilman Londell, supported by Councilman Hersberg. Mayor, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just Mrs. Hart, this will be her first appointment with the city of Westland. And as you see her resume, she's got a long career in the health field.
Very good. Is there any other discussion? Great. For my discussion, for the record, I am not related as far as I know, so we're not related. So she's just fortunate enough to have an awesome name just like me, but other than that, I don't believe we're related. With that, roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
awesome name, President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. New business, item 6, confirmation of appointment of Andrew Ward to the Economic Development Corporation, Tax Increment Finance Authority, Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to fill an unexpired term with the term to expire March 19, 2023.
So moved, Rutkowski.
Support.
Orlando.
Got motion from Rakowski. I saw Councilman Hersberg's lips moving, but I heard support Londo. So I'm going to go with Hersberg because I saw him speaking. I think he meant to. Is there any discussion? All right, Mayor?
Yep, as you can see, Mr. Ward's, he's got, if you take a look at his resume, he's got a nice looking resume, and this will be his first appointment to the city of Westland. He'll be filling an unexpired term to expire March 19th, 2023.
All right. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. New business, item 7, confirmation of appointment of Selvin Murrigan to the Economic Development Corporation, Tax Increment Finance Authority, Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to fill an unexpired term with the term to expire September 18, 2021.
So moved.
I got Councilman Londo for the motion.
Godbout.
Support by Councilman Godbout. Mayor?
So council, since Garden City Prime Hospital has had real estate in the Tifa district, they've had representation on the Tifa EDC board and the Brownfield Authority. Their last employee recently left their employment of Prime Health, and we asked them to consider appointing or offering up a name for appointment for another employee. And as you can see, Mr. Murrigan's resume is quite lengthy. He's actually the Regional Chief Nursing Officer of Prime Healthcare Michigan, and will bring some diversity and definitely some expertise to the board as well.
All right, is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. New business, item 8, approval of application request for a new Class C liquor license from Legendary Entertainment and Experiences LLC, a limited liability company, subsidiary of Hush Haunted Attraction LLC, located at 37550 Cherry Hill in Westland.
So moved. Londo.
Support. Hersberg.
Motion by Councilman Londo, supported by Councilman Hersberg. Let's see, Mayor, did you, this was from the administration, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Council. So this is going to be for a new business. We talked about it in the past. I think we highlighted in last year's State of the City address. This will actually be an establishment within the building, within the building that we know as Hush. If we take a look at the at the blueprints for this. This thing is going to be very unique. It's going to be really neat. I can appreciate the concern about mixing alcohol and axes, but this is a new trending form of entertainment that there's a lot of controls in place, and we feel comfortable with it. We feel very proud of Cody Bailey, and as we try to support entrepreneurs in our town, this is a young man that's grown up in this community and has invested a lot of money, continues to invest a lot of money, and it's going to be a really nice place. It's going to be a regional draw. This will be one of the city of Westland's liquor licenses that we had under our control. And if you read the fine print of the agreement, there's a little bit of a hook in there too, that if the business isn't successful, that the license will revert back to the city. It's something that we're looking at doing as we're down to our last couple licenses. So we feel excited about it, and I think council's going to be very, very excited about it as well.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe the petitioner's on. Let me allow to speak here. Mr. Bailey, did you have anything to add?
Nothing really in general. I think Mayor Wild summed it up mostly, and we're just really excited to get this open. We've been building away the last few weeks, and it's getting closer and closer, and it's going to be a really cool venue, and just create more opportunities for people to have experiences and entertainment in the community.
Oh, wonderful. All right, well, let me open it up to the maker and supporter. Are there any comments from the maker and supporter? Councilman Londo?
Just briefly, I appreciate the thoughts from the mayor and also from Cody. Thank you, Cody, for reinvesting in the community once again. And I do understand one of the residents spoke earlier about the concerns over safety, but like the mayor mentioned, there are safety precautions put in place. Many of these facilities, there's a few around town, not in Westland obviously yet, but there's plenty around town and there are precautions in place. So with that being said, I'll be in support.
Next, are there any comments from the supporter? Councilman Hertzberg?
Yeah, I just want to say good luck, and I want to clarify that this vote is for the liquor license. It's not necessarily for the activity or whatever activity is going to be mixed with the liquor license. If he decides to do basketball and beer later, then we can't stop him. So this vote is really just for the liquor license. And I want to thank the petitioner for being very detailed and clear in the paperwork in the packet. And then if the petitioner is still on, if you could let us know a time frame when he plans to open, I'd appreciate that. But I'll be in support. Thank you.
Sure, let me turn over to Mr. Bailey. Do you have any time frame?
Yeah, so it's just going to come down to, after this vote, we go to the state, and then once that's done, we'll be able to open. Our goal is hopefully by the end of July at this point, looking like maybe a little bit sooner, but we'll see what happens when we get up there.
Good, Councilman Hertzberg? Very good. Next, Councilman McDermott.
Yeah, just wanted to speak real briefly in support of this. Thank you, Cody and the team at Hush, for continuously investing in our community and really bringing forward destination attractions that will attract people not only from the Westland community, but as your statistics showed from earlier, all over Southeast Michigan and all over the country. So really excited to have this kind of positive investment in our community and a destination that's going to bring people here to Westland. Thank you.
Very good. Any other comments from the council? I'll add my own. Mr. Bailey, you always done a fantastic job. You took a building. We thought we were pretty cool, and we took the old Circuit City and made it a new city hall. And you're just as ingenuitive by taking an old roller rink and making it one of the largest, most successful haunted house attractions in the state, in the region, and your numbers show for it. That level of ingenuity I can see is already at play with legendary acts. So definitely a destination location in the city. I think the city is very fortunate to have you here. You're one of our native sons and do some really amazing things. And quite frankly, they're really cool. So people should go by and take a look at it. Clearly, I'll be strongly supporting this. Are there any other comments from the council? Roll call.
Councilman Godbout.
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
Yes.
Councilman Hertzberg.
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion
Congratulations.
passes unanimously.
Congratulations, Mr. Bailey.
New business, item 9, approval of site plan and special land use for proposed Burger King, 38411 Ford Road, south side of Ford, between Hicks and Norma. This is Planning Department number 2248. The Planning Commission recommends approval of this proposed site plan and special land use, subject to the required variance being approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Londo. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Councilwoman Rakowski. Mo?
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, City Council. Okay, you have the aerial up on your screen. This subject property is located at the southwest corner of Ford Road and Hicks, right here just between Hicks and Norma. It comprises of a little over 1 acre and is zoned CB3, General Commercial Business District. Back in 2018, the petitioner successfully rezoned the property to make way for this development. At the time, it was just introduced as a general drive-through restaurant. And today, the petitioner is seeking site plan and special land use approval for the construction of a 3,200 square foot Burger King drive-through restaurant. This is the site plan here, Ford Road and Norma, 2 residents back in the south. The site is accessed by a right turn in and right turn out only driveway at Ford Road and a full service driveway here at North Hicks. Again, left turn will be restricted out of the Ford Road driveway. The site contains 32 off-street parking spaces, which is in compliance with the zoning ordinance. The zoning ordinance calls for 8 stacking spaces here. The site plan can accommodate up to 12. The proposed development, there was a traffic study done as requested by the city and the Michigan Department of Transportation that noted no concerns. And the traffic study did note that the development is expected to capture mostly pass-by traffic. That is traffic simply already using Ford Road and just passing by. So no significant additional trips will be generated, which is a good thing for the traffic. So there's not going to be any major negative impacts on traffic as a result of the development. The site contains significant landscaping and buffering areas throughout the site along the frontage and the rear in between the residents. In the back, there's a 43-foot landscape buffer that includes 41 trees and 32 shrubs to screen the residential homes to the south. There is the landscaping plan is attached in your backup and also includes landscaping that is compliant along the road frontage that is required. The petitioner also proposes to install a sidewalk along Hicks where one does not exist today. Wrapping this up, the hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 1 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. There is a variance required to allow parking areas in the front 25-foot setback here. You can kind of see the parking areas encroach into that 10 feet. So the 10-foot deficiency is being requested at the zoning board hearing this Wednesday. So if you decide to approve this, conditioned upon the petitioner being granted that variance, this is what the building will look like using high quality materials. There's no siding. We ask for brick and they are complying with that request. This is the front elevation. I know the project engineers are on the call, Eric and Kevin, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
You're muted, Council President. You're muted.
Thank you, Council President Pro Tem. As I said, is there any discussion from you? So
yes, thank you, President Hart. Yeah, just briefly, I appreciate Mr. Ayub for the lengthy discussion again on that. Was watching the planning commission meeting. There was a lot of discussion on that from the planning commission and the neighbors nearby. I was happy to hear that there was a resolution in place and that they did want to stick with the landscaping, because for those of you that read the packet and the residents at home that read the packet, the landscaping does look great. It's going to look a lot better than just a brick wall or a masonry wall, I guess, so to speak. So I appreciate the residents agreeing to that, and Mo and the petitioner working with them on that. Thank you.
Very good. Next would be Councilman McDermott.
Good evening. Just a quick question through the chair to the administration to Mo. We know that, looking at the lot size on this, up Ford Road with the Popeyes chicken, one of the issues that we have is the drive-through lane clearly hasn't been big enough to accommodate the amount of traffic they're seeing there at that location, and it's been spilling out into Ford Road pretty regularly. I live over in that area there off of Wildwood, and we've seen traffic back up on Ford Road. Do we believe the drive-through lane in space is of ample size to prevent further traffic spilling out onto Ford Road with this location? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So our zoning ordinance requires 8 stacking spaces, whether that's practically feasible or not, or whether that's going to result in some backups or not. Potentially 8, I think, in my opinion, is not enough. In this case, they're providing 12. I think if you were to study zoning ordinances in Southeast Michigan, the average is 10. I know that because I did that study a few years ago. Here again, they're providing 12, and that's just in the stacking area. If you go out into the site itself, you can probably fit over a couple dozen. I can show you the site plan real quick. I actually do want to show you. It'll just be really quick. So if there is a jam up here, people can circulate the site. There is a slip lane that is provided where customers can loop around and enter the drive-through in this way to avoid having to stack up and back out onto Ford Road. I'm not sure of the Popeyes site plan and if that is provided over there, but it can be avoided by using that slip lane behind the building.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other comments from the council? Councilman Hertzberg.
Thank you. Yeah, I do just have one concern, and that's that the drive-through windows are facing the residential area. I'm curious if the petitioner is here, why they chose to put the drive-throughs on the south side versus the west or even the north side.
No, are the petitioners on? There we are. Is Eric Williams the petitioner, Mo?
Yes, sir.
All
Architect or engineer.
Engineer, very good. Mr. Williams, are you there?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Eric Williams, address is 607 Shelby Street, Detroit, Michigan. So we had looked at a few different layouts for this particular property, and really looking at it, this is a fairly standard layout for any fast food restaurant. They want to make sure that parking is visible from the street so folks know where that front door is. And then similarly with the building elevations, they obviously have, as Mo alluded to, the brick facade with the stone accent over the main door, and then additionally, the Burger King signage. So the branding is important here, and that is, a fairly common layout for what any fast food restaurant would lay out as. The other piece to note is, as Mo mentioned, we did push this site closer to Ford Road, just to further increase that buffer. And I think, we did provide a heavy amount of plantings to the south there. And in talking with the folks at Carol's Restaurant Group, they are interested in working with, I believe it was the Long family. And I know there's one other family that abuts the property, and potentially replacing the existing fencing and making sure that, at the end of the day, when this project's done, those folks aren't impacted in a negative way. So really just has to do with, a very standard restaurant layout.
Thank you. I appreciate the answer. I'm satisfied with that. Is this going to be a 24-hour location?
No, it would not be.
Okay, I'll be in support. Thank you.
Good. Are there any other comments from the council? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Councilman Gabon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. New business, item 10. Approval of special land use for proposed wine tasting room, 6033 North Wayne Road, west side of Wayne, north of Stacy. This is Planning Department number 2121E. Planning Commission recommends approval of the proposed special land use.
So
So
moved,
moved.
McDermott.
Support Rutkowski.
All right, here we go. I'll give a motion to Councilman McDermott, support to Councilwoman Rakowski. Mo?
Thank you, Council President. Okay, the subject site here is located on the west side of Wayne Road, just north of Ford Road at the northwest corner of Stacy and Wayne. This is the bowling alley over here, and this is the Secretary of State approximately in this area over here. The property is zoned CB3, general commercial business, and is developed with a 15,000 square foot retail commercial center. The petitioner proposes to locate a wine tasting room in a vacant tenant space within the existing building. The wine tasting room has a maximum capacity of up to 25 individuals, and the hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. The site is accessed, so this is an existing site, obviously accessed by one driveway, full service driveway at Wayne Road. The site contains screening against the residential, landscaping, parking areas, dumpster, and site lighting that is in compliance with the zoning ordinance. The proposed use is consistent with the existing uses in the general area along Wayne Road and within the plaza itself. There is a floor plan provided in your backup. It's an empty floor plan and it will be kind of customized based on whatever the event requested at the time is going to look like. I know the petitioner is on the call. The administration and planning department are recommending approval of the special land use and it did hold a public hearing earlier this month. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is there any discussion from the maker and supporter? Nope. All right, any other discussion from the council? Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Councilman Godbout,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilman Hersberg,
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski,
Yes.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. New business, item 11. Approval of site plan for proposed commercial plaza, 34601 Ford Road, south side of 4 between Wayne and Wildwood. Planning Department number 2163B. Planning Commission recommends approval of the proposed site plan subject to the required variances being approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Londo.
Support Rutkowski.
Support by Councilwoman Rakowski. Mo?
Thank you, sir. Okay, the subject site here is located on the south side of Ford Road between Wayne and Wildwood, just west of Wildwood, and is about 17,000 square feet in area. The property is zoned CB1, low intensity commercial business, and is currently undeveloped. The petitioner is proposing to construct a 4,200 square foot, 4-tenant commercial retail building on the property. The proposed one-story building will be constructed using a brick exterior material and some EIFS on the top area over here. The site plan indicates 26 off-street parking spaces on site and accessed by one single driveway at Ford Road in this area over here. The petitioner also proposes to install a 6-foot high brick screening wall along the south side, which is compliant with the zoning ordinance. The petitioner proposes to install a DDA fencing up along the front property line here, buffering it from the sidewalk and the Ford Road right-of-way. The site plan does not provide a 20-foot landscape buffer here in the front yard, so the applicant must seek a variance for that. The applicant must also seek a variance for the required 20-foot rear yard setback. He is only able to provide a 10-foot rear yard setback. I took some pictures out in the field earlier. This is what it looks like today. It is true that there are some vacancies relating to retail plazas or commercial centers throughout our major commercial thoroughfares. This property is zoned commercial, and one of the things that we see as planners and economic development staff or individuals working in this field is when you see improvements or new construction relating to commercial centers or just investment in general in the general area, you tend to put people on notice, whether it be property owners of undeveloped land or property owners of vacant retail spaces, that I need to improve my property or risk losing my existing tenants, or just having to go under. So that's something I wanted to share with you because I know that Aubrey's presentation previously probably stuck with you as her explaining that there's a ton of vacant retail spaces, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't allow people to invest in commercial spaces, which I guess I want to just note to you that that does leave or result in additional investment throughout the area in terms of vacant retail spaces that are existing today. Be happy to answer any questions. And Mehdi Abdullah is on the call representing the developer.
We'll start with Council President Pro Tem Londo.
Thank you, Mr. Ayub, for the presentation. I had some concerns originally on this. If the petitioner's on, I'd like to ask if he has any tenants line up, and if so, what type of tenants was he looking to have occupy those spaces?
Okay, Mr. Abdallah, I've activated your line. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you. Can you answer the councilman's question?
Yes, of course. And I'd like to thank the council and the mayor and the city officials for taking the time to consider the application. At this point, at the early juncture prior to approval, there are no tenants lined up, but I have reached out to potential tenants such as Great Clips or other franchises that would be interested in opening in the area to potentially lease out this building. Given that we're still at this early juncture and haven't received all the necessary approvals, there are no signed leases, but the way we're structuring this building and the size of the units is tailored to franchisees and other potential small businesses that would like approximately 1,000 square foot units in newer developments in cities such as Westland to cater to the surrounding area.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other comments from the council?
And
Councilman Herzberg.
Thanks. Yeah, just real quick, I won't be in support. We did approve a new strip mall about 1 block away from here. It was constructed and it's still sitting empty. So, you know, I do think for the time being, we're better off seeing some trees and some green space rather than more empty buildings. So I won't be in support.
if I may, if I'm not on mute anymore, I'm not sure if I am.
You can't really interrupt, but go ahead if you have something to add.
Yes, I just wanted to kind of give us a small picture regarding the property. my name is Mahdi Abdullah, just to introduce myself. I am an attorney. I'm also the manager of the company seeking to develop the property. The company is owned by my parents. This property has been vacant for over 10 years. The property is about 160 feet long and 110 feet deep and is zoned CB1, low intensity commercial business. So really, this is the only type of investment that would be allowed here. I can't do any residential projects. I can't do any industrial projects. Given the size of the building, I wouldn't be able to do a drive-through like the Burger King down the street. So really, we are limited here in terms of what we can do. From a developer's perspective, to add on to what Mr. Ayub said earlier, adding a new modern building like this will enhance the image of the area, will provide a higher tax base to the city, will help attract new businesses in the area as well. I do drive by the area often, and I noticed that a lot of the empty retail is due to some of the older looking buildings. To address Council Member Herzberg's comment regarding the building about, I want to say, a mile away that's still empty, that's a fairly new construction. That one, I believe, is more office tailored based on the look of it, with the parking to the west of the building and rather than in front of the building. So, and given the COVID dilemma we've been facing the last year and a half, no one's leasing the office space. Everyone's working from home. So I think that building is a little differently situated than the building we're proposing here, because we're not looking for office space. We're looking for more retail space. And I think if anything, retail has gone up since COVID, because people aren't looking for new business ideas. People, as COVID started, have gone and invested in their hobbies and would like to, open businesses for them. So I think this is differently situated than that. It would bring a new development, strip mall to the area of Ford Road and in the Westland Business District. Just a mile away on Ford Road and Hicks, there was a Burger King approved. Clearly, no one's going to invest, over $1 million in opening a Burger King unless the market will support it. And I think this will add on to the area and help it thrive. Leaving it vacant is not going to attract new businesses to the area, because they're just going to see a vacant land and say, well, there's no one here. We shouldn't invest here. There's not enough business. And I would appreciate the council's support in this property to help us develop this property. Otherwise, I think selling it, if this is denied and we're forced to sell it, it would sell at a very low cost, which would affect the property values in the area, because it would be known that the council denied this project. And so any potential investor in the future would have to deal with that.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman, Pro Tem Londo.
Thanks, President Hart. Through the chair to the administration, whether it be the mayor or Mo, can we talk about why the other development we're talking about down the street across from Todd Wenzel remains vacant to this day? I know that was one of my concerns. I know I talked with both of you about it. So if somebody can address that, please.
Mayor, I could take that one. So Joel Cadre is the owner of that building. He spent a couple years developing that project. There was some issues with the contractor that he hired. Not going to get into it on the call, but Ralph, our building official, helped him out tremendously in working around those issues and hiring new contractors and things like that. The building is probably, I would say, 90-95% complete in terms of being able to lease out. There are 2 tenants that were interested. I got to look through my call records, but maybe a couple weeks ago at the latest, a deli out of Farmington Hills and a tattoo owner that just sold his shop right here across the street from City Hall and wants to stay in Westland, but look at along Ford Road. So he does have 2 people that are interested, and I think a cell phone store that is kitty corner across the street on the northwest corner of Wayne and Ford that wants to locate there too. So there were some significant contractor issues which led to some major holdups, but it's not like he's not getting calls about the project. It's that it was stalled for other reasons.
Thank you, Mr. Ayub. Appreciate that.
I do want to mention that the architect for this property is on the Zoom as well, should anyone have any questions for him.
Thank you. Mayor?
Hey, Council President, I was going to jump in there. Appreciate Mo talking about that project, but with that one, it's not finished yet. So I would just ask council to consider, one of our priorities is the redevelopment of the Ford Road corridor. And part of that is going to be taking some of the vacant parcels and trying to redevelop those. That this particular one has been tough. Actually, the gentleman that I think that they purchased from took down the house and rezoned it to commercial. And because of the depth of the property, it's been tough. But if we say that we support entrepreneurship, I mean, if somebody wants to invest in our city and they buy property and it's zoned right, I think we have to give them the opportunity to, to build on it. And some of these smaller ones, while they may not have a tenant moving in, it's not like we're adding hundreds of thousands of new tenant space to the district. As we redevelop Ford Road, there's a vacant piece of property that's right next to Vizzy's Pizza that just got purchased by an investor. So we're going to see investments, and we want them, because if we ever want to change the look of Ford Road as you drive through Westland, it's going to come with redevelopment and new construction. So we think this will be a good fit. And in the world of real estate, people take risk and they manage the risk by the size of the project, and it feels that the gentleman that's going to develop this, he feels comfortable with the risk. And I think if we want people to invest in our city, we have to support that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any other discussion? Councilman Herzberg.
Thanks. Yeah, I just want to state for the record too that I'm not comfortable with the variances and everything being so close up to Ford Road. There is the empty strip mall down the street that we talked about. I appreciate the explanation for that, but there's also there's vacancies all up and down Ford Road and strip malls right in the immediate area of this, including across the street and up and down the street both ways. And I just want to clarify something that the mayor said. In my opinion, I think there's a strong difference between redevelopment and new development. And I think it was already mentioned that new development is going to hurt the older ones. They'll never be redeveloped. I mean, we already have old empty buildings that have been boarded up for years throughout the city. And I think this is just going to cause more of that. Yes, it'll be nice, a nice new building, but at what cost? So, if we want to redevelop Ford Road, then we need to look at doing programs and getting facade improvements. Doing a new building is just going to hurt the existing dozens of strip malls throughout the city. So that's just my opinion. Thanks.
Pro Tem Londo.
Just briefly to the facade improvement, we do have a facade improvement program through the DDA. And a lot of people on Ford Road and along Wayne Road in the DDA district utilize those dollars. So.
Thanks. I'm fully aware of that.
All right. Any other comment from the council? I'll be fully supporting it. I believe it's a difficult property to develop, and I think we're trying hard to lift the bar up, especially this part of Ford Road. I think it's really strong. A lot of the strip malls, little areas that we do have here are very old. They're very dated, and so if we can kind of put a shot in the arm, especially in a spot like this, and kind of raise the bar a little bit, especially with all the work they're willing to put in, I think it's a step in the right direction. So I will be supporting this. Is there any other discussion? Councilwoman Gray.
Yes, I will be supporting it as well. From a real estate standpoint, I mean, if the bottom line is there are vacant properties all over, and it is our responsibility to get those properties filled. But from a development standpoint, I think the city could use the tax revenue. This gentleman has stated nothing in terms of an inability to potentially fill it once it is constructed. And we've had contractors come across city council, and they have proven themselves to be unable to fill a building, and they've still gotten clearance from council. And so I am all for new development in our city, generating tax revenue, hopefully some sort of job creation. And while I do agree that Councilman Herzberg has raised some relative concerns or valid concerns, I do not think that this is an instance to where that would actually apply. And so I will be in support. Thank you.
Any other comments from the council? Councilman Hertzberg.
Yeah, thanks. Just the last comment. We did the master plan and a lot of these strategic planning things, and we did talk about trying to move parking to the back off of Ford Road. And, I won't be in support. We keep doing these developments and we're just not following through with plans that were formulated with input from probably more than 100 people. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council? Roll call.
Godbout.
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
Yes.
Councilman Hertzberg.
No.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
Yes.
President Hurt.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Abdallah.
New business, item 12, approval of voucher.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
McDermott.
Support Hertzberg.
I got a motion by Councilman McDermott, supported by Councilman Hertzberg. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Godbout.
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
Yes.
Councilman Hertzberg.
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
Yes.
President Hurt.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We now move to public comment. Everyone speaking before the council shall do so in a civil manner. Speakers shall refrain from abusive or profane remarks, vulgar language, disruptive outbursts, threats, racial slurs, or other conduct that interferes with the orderly business meeting. Personal attacks on council members, the administration, staff, other speakers, or members of the public will not be tolerated. The clock will start upon the first words of the speaker and will not stop while the speaker is recognized from the floor. It's the speaker's option to ask questions at this time, and the person questioned may choose to respond during the speaker's allotment. Again, the clock will not be stopped once it is started. Is there anyone who would like to address the council? Use the raised hand feature. Is there anyone who would like to address the council? There we are. Last name Sampe. Hold on.
Hello, good evening. Can
Good
you hear me
evening.
okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. My name is Melissa Sampe. I'm a resident of Westland, and I just wanted to recognize, I took my dog out to the 5th annual dog vaccination, and it was great. So I wanted to recognize a few different people. The Wayne Ford Civic League did a phenomenal job at putting it on. Vic Barra did a great job. I saw Mayor Wild out there who was, present, welcoming people. And I think it was just overall a great event. I also wanted to call attention to tail waggers, Westland Car Care, the animal ordinance officers, and then the Department of Innovation and Technology. There was a lot of volunteers out there and it was great. Also, I wanted to say congratulations and thank you to everyone that showed up at JC Park. I was over there afterwards. I know it was a busy weekend in Westland. I saw Council President Hart, President Pro Tem Londo, Councilwoman Rakowski, and several members of the Westland Chamber. They were over there. The only thing I was going to say is, as a mom to a 14-year-old boy, I would love to see, maybe we can discuss offline how further youth can be involved. There was a lot of adults. We were all working hard, but maybe through community programs or perhaps discussion off in the near future. But it would be great to see more youth involved in our park cleanups. And that's all I was going to say. And thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Next, I have phone number ending in 017.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can.
Richard Graham, again with Move Westland Forward. Good evening again. Hopefully in June, we will start having these council meetings in person. Council President Hart, what is the timetable to have these meetings in person? I know I cannot wait to be in person. Move Westland Forward received multiple reports today of the blue bins that are at the various locations around the city. The spots are at the Cherry Hill and Wayne Road locations, along with Westland Bowl, north of Ford on Wayne. Councilman Godbout, can you have the company you work for address these as quickly as possible? Very much an eyesore and a blight condition. You can view these on Move Westland Forward. Through the chair to anyone that can answer this, council, mayor, city attorney, city clerk, administration, where would a resident or taxpayer find more information on when a mayor is eligible for retirement pay and the amount? Had some people curious about that, and I know I don't know the answer to that. Through the chair to Mayor Wild. It is the fourth time I have asked this question, so hopefully you will finally respond. Residents and taxpayers want to know. And in fact, when I was shopping for potatoes and tomatoes recently, a resident came up and asked, why is the mayor not answering you? All I can say is, I'm not quite sure. And we both laughed. Anyway, if in January 2022, you are sworn in as mayor of Westland, will you serve your full term, 4 years, as mayor and not move on leaving the city your position? Hopefully, you will answer it this time like you did 4 years ago. That is it. Looks like council, through the chair, Councilman Godbout has his hand raised, so I'm not sure if he wants to answer a question, but I will yield my time to him if he would like to answer.
He's got 45 seconds. Mr. Godbout.
Yes, and in regards to the bins, this has been brought up several times, and I've answered this question several times. The bins get picked up 2 to 3 times a week. There is a phone number on the front of the bin. Rather than posting it on your Facebook page, if you would simply call the number, we are out same day or next day to pick up any items that are illegally dumped in front of the bins. I've worked very well with our ordinance department. As soon as they send a notice in, we're out there to pick up and clean up the material.
That's time.
So,
right at 3 minutes. That's time.
thank you. And Council President, I believe I have more than the time allotted to address when I'm being addressed as part of our council policies and procedures.
You do. My fault. Next, we will go to, well, it just says Joenaz. I don't want to mispronounce anything. Joenaz, you had your hand up.
Yes, that's Nazareth, very basic. Jesus of Nazareth, heard that one before?
Yep.
All right. Just a quick thing. I was at the library the other day, and they have this, the computer room open for the public. They get only half hour of time to go and do their work or whatever they need to use the computer for. Furthermore, I saw that they had a limit of 8 people in that limit of 8 people for the room. But at the same time, they told me that they could only get 3 people in at a time. And so I was kind of amazed. And with the population of Westland as 85,000, 2 people are there, and there were about at least 8 employees being paid, and all looking busy though. So I don't know what they were doing, but they were busy. So I think the time and money can be spent more fruitfully if the timing can be increased and something more can be done. So we got all this elected officials for the library, and it is shameful that only 2 people can go there and they can only use it for a half hour. So good luck, and I hope somebody will hear me out and get this thing rectified.
Okay, thank you. Next, I have last name Fisher.
Good evening. This is Len Fisher with Inspired Theater. And I want to say thank you for the approval of our event and just give a little promo to everyone listening that it's going to be June 11th through the 27th. It's actually, we're very excited to be back. This is going to be an outdoor performance and we'll have social distancing. And it's a comedy, it's a murder mystery, it's a parody. It's a parody of the 39 Steps, the Alfred Hitchcock play. It's basically Alfred Hitchcock meets Monty Python. It's a fast-paced whodunit with nonstop laughs and over 150 characters played by ridiculously talented 4 people. And so that'll be on Friday nights and Saturday nights, 7 to 9, and Saturday and Sunday afternoons, 2 to 4 for the 3 weekends. And thank you, and I hope to see all of you there.
Thank you. Next, I have last name Delph. Last name Delph.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can now.
Oh, good evening, and I apologize for my crackling voice. I've been fighting allergies for the last couple of days, and they've been kicking my butt. But I want to thank you guys for passing the PRO Act. Long overdue. Myself, being the Ask Me Council 25 Local 1456 member for 25 years and present, I appreciate it, and I'm sure all the other union members do too. But we need to stay on top of it and keep going forward. I have a question about the Cabot Lab that's coming in from Texas, I believe. We need to find out more information on this. Are they licensed? Are they qualified? Our residents are going to be giving personal information to these people, insurance information, and they're using a pod. They could be here one day, gone the next. So I'm all for testing and being safe and helping our residents, but we got to watch out for identity theft and everything else. And that's all I have for tonight. Hope you guys all have a good evening. Stay safe, and God bless.
Thank you. Next, I have last name Sedman.
Yeah, hi again. I do want to support Mr. Graham and his suggestion that the blue bins are nuisances in the city. And the reason I'm saying that is I am near the one by the Friendship Center, and either somebody is dumping a boatload of stuff in one day, or it's accumulative over days and it just sits there. I have called and it has been remedied when I have called. And I think we should rethink where these bins are placed and maybe have a security camera on these bins. And I know at the Westland Humane Society has 2 bins for clothing and another one, I think, for shoes or something like that. And those do not have the mess that the blue bins do. I think people just use that blue bin as an excuse to get rid of stuff, especially it was bad during the pandemic when Salvation Army was closed. So I just want to say that the blue bins may bring in income for the city, and that might, while that's a good thing, the eyesore, in my opinion, is a bad thing. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Last name Haddad.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me. I also just wanted to say thank you to everyone for passing the resolution for the PRO Act. I am a former member of the IBEW, so it's great to see support for unions on the local level. And I appreciate everyone who spoke out as well in support of continuing that just pass a resolution. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Last name Barra. Last name Barra. Got nothing there.
I found the unmute button. My apologies. I just wanted to remind the residents and everybody that we are going to have a Memorial Day parade. It's coming up in pretty short order, about 12 days, on May 30th, Sunday. The VFW Bova Post will be holding a memorial ceremony at the Veterans Garden behind the library. We've already got the marching bands lined up. We've got a lot of civic organizations that have joined up already. Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts and Brownies. We're looking to get as many groups registered that want to participate in our parade this year. It's going to be as great as it was back in 2019. Unfortunately, COVID kind of idled us for 2020, but we're looking to reinvigorate that and have our first great summer event here in the All-American City. So you can go to the www.cityofwestland.com to register your group. We will be getting in touch with everybody in short order to let them know all of the details for setup and planning. But this has been underway for some time and we're ready to go. So a couple of weeks from now, we're going to have a great parade here in the city of Westland, and we want everybody to be there. So you can go on social media to the City of Westland Administration site, get details and information, as well as our website. And please sign up. Come on, join in. Residents that just want to enjoy the parade, you can enjoy it at the Tatton Park Pavilion area. Set up with your family and enjoy some really good outdoor time. So with that, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, see no other hands raised. Oh, there's one. Phone number ending in 139.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes. My name is Stephen Smith, a citizen of Westland. I just want to thank the chief of police. I sent him an email today and he responded right away. So thank you, chief. Appreciate that. But I do have some concerns about some other members of the administration. The senior resource director. I sent emails. I sent the email to her in February 2021, never received a reply. And then I also sent an email to the senior resource director on May 10th, 2021, never received a reply. I sent the email to Steve Smith, Chief Financial Officer, May 5th, May 10th. Never received a reply on both those emails. I also sent emails to City Council. I have not received any replies from President Hart, Galbout, or McDermott. I mean, is it a common thing for these people to ignore the citizens? It's pretty shameful if it is. Also, when the planning director has slides or pictures, especially the picture of the White House with the trees, under the ADA, he should be providing descriptions instead of just saying, "Oh, here's a picture." For visually impaired or blind individuals, they don't know what they're looking at. But if you give a description saying a White House, 3 trees, green grass, it gives them a better what they're looking, what they can hear, and so they can have a better understanding what's being talked about. So if we can start doing that, that's universal design and ADA. So those are the things that, and also last council meeting, I talked about, the 3-minute rule. How did we come up with that? It's not a one-size-fit-all approach. So if someone can answer that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. All right. Next is Guevara. Last name Guevara.
Good evening. Are you able to hear me?
I am.
Great. First and foremost, thank you for taking the time to consider our application. I'm just seeking on behalf of Big Sky Fireworks. We're just looking for clarification on the approval of 1B for the temporary structure.
Sorry. Council President Hart, you there?
Sorry, my son decided to walk in the room at the last minute and I had to throw him out. I apologize.
You need me to take over. Go ahead.
All right, so is Mr. Guevara done? I do apologize.
He was asking a question, but that item's already been approved. I don't know if that answers his question or not.
It does. Thank you.
All right. Are you all set, Mr. Guevara? All set?
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I do apologize for that.
President Hart, if I may interrupt,
Yes.
please clarify for me, are we talking 1B or item B on the consent calendar? Which item was the
Item B on
gentleman?
the, sorry, Mr. Clerk, item B on the consent calendar. His name said Big Sky Fireworks, and that's item B on the consent calendar.
Thank you. I apologize for interrupting.
No problem.
All right. Are there any other comments from the public? Last name Arthur.
Yes, good evening. I'm going to assume you can hear me.
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, 2 weeks ago, there were a lot of allegations made by the Councilwoman Green in regards to some supposedly attack on Ms. Denise Sedman. And I would say to you that in your regards to your allegations, there's one way to be able to prove your allegations, then file a formal complaint, put some skin in the game, and then we can see whether your allegations have any are they valid or not? Because these are your allegations, these are not Mrs. Stedman's allegations. 2, in regards to the Southeast Homeowners Association, along with the Norway Citizens Council, we're holding candidates nights for the next, later on this month, in the month of June, on May 27th and June 24th. Most of the candidates have applied for that, but these meetings is just limited to members of the Precinct 28 and the Norway Citizens Council and the Norway community. So I think that we're going to have a very good turnout in regards to that. But I'm going to go right back to this question of these allegations. There is a process, and I would hope that Councilwoman Green would follow the process and file a complaint and verify your allegations. There's nothing complex about that at all, so that the whole city will know whether your allegations have any validity or not. Thank you.
You all set, sir?
Yes, I'm through.
Okay. Councilwoman Green.
Thank you. I just encourage everyone to go back and watch the last city council meeting. I specifically said that those were alleged actions on behalf of this person, Arthur Warren, who has embarrassed our city in other ways in the past with his actions. What I did state is that I am familiar with him having attacked other Westland residents in similar fashions. Those allegations have been substantiated, but speaking specifically to what Ms. Sedman alleged, which was an attack based on her race and gender, I said alleged during the meeting. So please go back and watch the meeting. And I would also encourage people to remember the name Arthur Warren and maybe research his name in terms of some of the more embarrassing moments that our city has seen some of the dishonest and intentionally misleading and salacious newspaper articles he has authored against other individuals, and some of the actions he's taken at some of the Westland Democratic Club meetings that actually violated the Open Meetings Act when throwing people out who had hearing issues. They were partially hearing impaired and wanted to record the meeting and were thrown out of the meeting. And so that's just a handful of incidents that Arthur Warren has found himself in. And the mayor continues to put this individual in positions of leadership. He is currently sitting on the Diversity Commission, actually chairing the commission thanks to Mayor Weil, which is the commission that I had to fight to bring to the city. And since his leadership took place not even 6 months ago, 3 people have already resigned, one of which was Denise Sedman, allegedly due to the attacks that she received from Arthur Warren. And so I would ask people to remember that name and just consider the source when this person speaks, because clearly someone who has been given the opportunity to represent our city would not use our meeting as a means to try and basically cover up actions that took place allegedly that never should have took place, and ones that could potentially open our city up for litigation. And not only have there been statements allegedly made by Arthur Warren, there were also anti-LGBT comments and comments made based on people's religious preferences and their sexual orientation. That was made by another commissioner of the Diversity Commission that the mayor appointed. And allegedly, after speaking to other commissioners, this person actually made comments that were in violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act.
Hi,
So,
Councilman. 3 minutes. We're at the 3-minute rebuttal time.
okay, I appreciate that. So just please consider the source when this person speaks. Thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman, thank you. All right, are there any other comments from the public? All right, we'll close public comment time and move comments from the administration. Mayor?
And good evening, everyone. First of all, council, thank you for moving forward on our appointments tonight, and thank those residents for expressing interest in serving the community. And we welcome them aboard, and we look forward to their involvement with the city. Thank you, council, for moving forward on Inspire Theater's event. It's great to know that our community theater is back in action, and while this event will be outdoors, I know it's going to be a great event. So we appreciate those folks for putting this event on for us. To resident Steve Smith that mentioned some emails to the administration. Mr. Smith, we did have a little snafu with the city's email system. It happened just prior to the last city council meeting, and while that is fixed now, I would encourage you to, those members you mentioned, to maybe send those emails again in the morning, and I'll follow up with them and ask them to respond to those. Thank you to everybody that helped put on a successful dog vaccination day over the weekend at Wayne Ford Civic League. It was a very nice, well-attended event. People saved a lot of money that day. We had left a lot of happy faces. Thanks to Vic for opening up the Civic League, and Dale Waggers and Clerk LeBlanc for having support staff there to register dog licenses. All in all, it was a great event. And it was mentioned earlier for those folks that participated in the park cleanups. I had a chance to drive around a little bit. I ran into Councilman Mcdermott working out at Cayley Park, and we appreciated his time. I had a chance to spend a few minutes with him. We had folks working at the historical park, the JC's, the chamber was out. Had a chance to stop by there, and Council President and I and Councilman Landau and Councilwoman Rakowski saw some items that we're going to work together to rectify there. Had a chance to visit most of our city parks over the weekend, and our parks team is working diligently to have all of our parks in tip-top shape for Memorial Day weekend. So if you're visiting any of our parks and you see something that needs some attention, just reach out to my office and we'll make sure that we have it ready by Memorial Day. We do plan on opening up the H2O zone that weekend as well. So it looks like weather is going to be coming around. So we anticipate a lot of happy children that weekend. We want to wish the city of Westland a happy 55th birthday. On May 16th, the city celebrated its 55th birthday. We've been celebrating all month long, WLND on the city's social media page. That will continue throughout the month. So we ask you to follow along and participate, and we'll continue to celebrate the city's birthday all throughout the year. Thank you, council members that took us up on the offer to tour Marshall's School. I know that not everybody was able to attend with some work schedules, so we will work with you individually to make sure that you have a chance to see the building. We're going to work with Plant Moran Cressa to plan a open house on an upcoming Saturday where we can allow the public to come in and view the building and kick the tires, and we'll have more on that in the future. The farmers market opens up later this month on the 27th. It'll be the first farmers market of the season. Vic mentioned the Memorial Day parade, and I'm looking forward to participating, and we hope that City Council will join us, and we welcome all the residents to come out that day and celebrate Memorial Day. And last of all is just save the date for August 6th and 7th. The City of Westland will be back this year with our Blues, Brews, and Barbecue event, and we'll be working through whatever guidelines that we need to do to make sure that we have a safe and fun event. And we're planning fireworks that night and a special firework presentation to honor those Westland residents that we have lost to COVID-19 this year. So we'll be talking more about that in the very near future. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Anything from the city attorney today?
Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fosson.
You're muted, Council President.
I muted and then I talked. That's funny. Thank you, Mr. Fosson. We'll begin council comments tonight with Councilman Hersberg.
Thank you. Just a few comments tonight would be brief. Just want to congratulate all the appointees. I hope you guys stick around, and thank you for joining in the conversation. It's better to have these boards and commissions filled. That way it's not just the council or the mayor making the decision. We have more people, more input, very important. Through the chair, actually, I'll just say my comments, and if we can get an update by the next council meeting. I talked to a couple of residents over the past 10 days or so that requested a new garbage can. The truck had broken their can, or it was weak. They requested it via email and left messages. I talked to one resident who went 2.5 weeks without a garbage can. She has one now. I advised her to put it through the Click and Fix app, and that seemed to work. She got it the next day. So there might be some sort of issue going on there. And then I continue to get questions about these yellow cans we see out there. I know there was a shortage, so maybe at the next council meeting, or if somebody from the administration can send an email to all of council kind of talking about where we're at. Are we going to get back to normal with the black cans? Again, by the next meeting, I'd appreciate the answer on that. I want to thank all the volunteers who turned out to several cleanup events over the weekend throughout the city. I did my own little event. We cleared out a log jam in the Rouge and cleared out a lot of trash. So, it's better. We're doing all kinds of events. We're covering ground, and I'm looking forward to getting the city really cleaned up this year via all these events. And then the next step will just be keeping it that way. And then just another reminder, May 30th is going to be the Memorial Day Parade. That's going to go down Carlson and Central City. And if you don't want to attend the parade, but you're interested in coming to the ceremony afterwards, that's going to be at the Westland Veterans Memorial Garden, which is behind the library. That's where the parade will end. So you can get there a little early. You can make it into the library, and you can just wait for the parade and attend the ceremony. I think that's about it. We heard the Boots versus Badges game's coming up. I know who I'm putting my money on, but the firefighters did get a few new people in this year, so we'll see how they throw the dodgeball. So, Chief, you got to watch out. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green.
Thank you. I would like to start by letting the community know that I am having 2 food drives this week. So it's going to be a pretty busy week. The first one is going to be on Wednesday, May 19th. This is going to happen during midday. So it'll be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it will be at Taft Elementary School. And that's located at 4035 Gloria Street in Wayne, Michigan. And the second one is going to be on Saturday at the normal 2 to 4 p.m. time. It's going to be at Gateway Family Worship Church here in Westland. And the address to Gateway Family Worship is 34645 Cowan Street, Cowan, here in Westland. If you missed any of those dates, you can find the info, or if you'd like to, you can give me a call at 734-828-7010, or you can check my Facebook page. The name has been changed from Councilwoman Tasha Green. It is now Tasha Green for Mayor. So you can check my Facebook page, Tasha Green for Mayor. We are definitely looking for volunteers.
So I understand your Facebook page changed, but you can't. That's promoting your.
That is not. That is based on your opinion, and I'm not.
Yeah, as the council president, that's my opinion. It's what it says in the policy.
Absolutely, and your opinion.
I'm just asking you. I'm asking you not to do that. Okay.
I understand what you're stating, but that is your opinion. I'm telling residents how they can find me, and I will continue to do that when I feel that it is necessary. But thank you for sharing your opinion with me. Also wanted to speak to residents regarding the blue bins. I've been on council 4 years, and this issue with the blue bins continues to come up. There's photos all over social media about the quote unquote donations that in many instances appear to look like trash after it has spilled over, been left for many days. I will inform you that the city of Westland, although we do have a city councilman who works for that company, the city of Westland cannot enter private property and set up bins on private property and force business owners to allow those bins onto their properties if they do not want them there. And I'll share with you that I had a company owner reach out to me who stated that he had been contacting City Hall for years trying to get those bins removed and was told that they had to be there. Now, I don't know if that was what he was told. That's just what he brought to my attention. I immediately notified the mayor and the entire council and the deputy mayor of his concern and the fact that the city does not have the right to allow items from a employer of an elected official onto the property of a private business owner and force them to allow that. So I say that to say the bins were removed from that particular business within 24 hours. So if there are any business owners who are fed up with having to make those calls, you can contact me. I can be reached at 734-828-7010. I'm happy to make the request on your behalf. And again, the city cannot force private owners to allow that. And I'm happy to bring whatever media attention is necessary if there is any pushback. But again, the city was very gracious at getting the bins removed from one particular business owner's lot as soon as he contacted me. And I brought that attention to the mayor and several other city officials. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If the business owners contact us as opposed to the residents, then the bins can be removed. And finally, my comment earlier today regarding that recommendation to put the testing site on the near City Hall from that random company from Texas. There was a vote that took place and there was no discussion. I think it is equally irresponsible to even suggest moving that location to the south side of Westland, as if those residents don't deserve the same assurance and security that this company is qualified. I appreciate the comments of one of the residents who spoke tonight, but it echoes my sentiment. We have nothing to verify their qualifications. In this business now, it is extremely lucrative. Again, I had a company reach out to me from New York and offered a kickback to help them come to Westland. So for us to put this in the packet with no documentation, to even verify that these people are not some random company just looking to make a buck here, when they're sticking medical devices up the nose and near the brain areas of residents who would assume that they should be there and they are qualified, I think is irresponsible. And I think the city of Westland has an obligation to do more than just select a different location. They have an obligation to ensure that if you allow a company to come in here and serve as a medical provider, that if we have the opportunity to, we should be making sure that they are the appropriate company to do so, and not just somebody who wants to come in here and set up shop, because I don't want them on the south side of Westland either. And especially the presentation in that the packet was extremely uninviting. It did not look attractive at all. And if you all think it looks attractive, then you set their trailers up at City Hall and let the one that Wayne County set up at City Hall go over to the south side. And I guarantee you, based on the picture that they put in that packet, it would not remain at City Hall long. So again, I'm asking for council to do more than just say, oh, well, it's too close to City Hall, so we'll just move it to the other side. I don't want residents hurt on any side of our city. So I would appreciate the appropriate consideration before that item is pulled off the table, if it should in fact be pulled off. Thank you.
Councilman Godbout.
Thanks. First, I'd like to thank all those that stepped forward to serve on the DDA, the TIFA, and the Parks and Rec boards. Your participation in serving on these boards is greatly appreciated. There seems to have been a lot of discussion this evening in regards to the bins for the company that I work for. The councilwoman made some statements that, quite frankly, I'm going to go back and review before I respond to those. The one that I will make a comment on was in regards to the bin that was moved. We moved it basically at the request of Councilwoman Green. By the time the owner of the strip mall of the center got back to me, he knew nothing about it. So I talked personally with Victor Ansera, who owns that strip center, and he said it may have been someone in his organization, but he certainly did not call the councilwoman to have the bin removed. So as I said, we service those bins 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the location. Most of the time, the items that are illegally dumped on those come on the weekend. Usually it's on late Saturday night, Sunday morning. We're out, Westland is picked up, I know as a fact, on Fridays and Mondays. And generally we're through one more time during the week, either Tuesday, Wednesday, to monitor and make sure that the materials are picked up if someone does do illegal dumping. Obviously, we're campaigning from the podium here, or the dais, when people are mentioning their websites. So at this point, I guess it'll have to go to the Attorney General's office to file complaints. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rakowski.
Thank you, Council President Hart. I too would like to thank and congratulate all of those individuals and stakeholders that have been appointed to various boards here in the city. I also wanted to give a quick update. A resident reached out and inquired about the status of the animal status reports and our vouchers from the Michigan Humane Society. I've been given word that Director Smith is currently working with them, and we should have those available in our voucher reports moving forward. I'm very happy that we had the opportunity to pass our resolution on the PRO Act today. A union contract is the single best tool that we have to close racial and gender wage gaps and ensure dignity and due process for workers, regardless of where we're born, who we are, or what industry we work in. And, you know, the city of Westland has a long tradition of union labor, and I look forward to seeing what more comes from the passing of this resolution, not just in our city, but also around the country. I'm looking forward to attending the Battle of the Badges, May 22nd. That's this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. at John Glenn. Our police officers and firefighters will be squaring off against the John Glenn High School Lady Rockets. And the Lady Rockets as a team has selected the Trauma Burn Center of Ann Arbor as the beneficiary for this year's charity efforts. And that's an amazing center that helps thousands of people a year through their, third-degree burns and other traumatic injuries. And they do great work. So thank you, Lady Rockets, for choosing them as your beneficiary, and good luck to all the young women and our police and firefighters as well. And with that, I wish you a good evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Next, we have Councilman Mcdermott.
Well, good evening, Council President, and good evening to the residents here. Just want to start out by thanking everybody who stepped forward and put their name in for a board or commission. Thank you to Reverend Henrietta Grosholm. Thank you to Mr. Sean Hart. Thank you to Andrew Ward, and thank you to Sullivan Murgan for all you do in our community and for stepping up and serving on one of our boards and commissions. Running this city and operating all the boards and commissions is not possible without your hard work and dedication, so thank you for that. I want to continue the thanks to all the volunteers this weekend and really the past couple of weekends. We've had multiple park cleanups going back to April and now into May. Everybody who's volunteered, who's come out to any number of the cleanups that we've had, thank you for volunteering your time here to beautify and make our city look better. Thank you to the Westland JCs and the Westland Chamber of Commerce, two groups in particular who jumped in and helped at the park cleanups. And also thank you to members of the Norway Citizens Council who were at the Cayley Park cleanup this past weekend. And thank you to Vic Barra, and thank you to Kyle Mulligan for organizing these and making sure that we have all the supplies necessary to actually have a good and proper cleanup. I want to thank my colleague, Council President Hart, for putting the resolution for the PRO Act forward today. As everybody's mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, supporting unions, union households, working men and women's right to join a union and collectively bargain supports all of us. When union wages go up, so do the wages across the economy, because a rising tide truly does lift all boats. And from the time the UAW was formed in 1938 with the sit-in strike in Flint, Michigan, at a General Motors plant, all the way up to today, we know that unions are the backbone of a middle-class economy. Wages that propel people from poverty to a sustainable middle-class lifestyle that can support a family. And ultimately, the reason that we have a 40-hour work week, the reason that we have benefits in the workplace, the reason that we have safe working conditions are thanks to working men and women who joined a union and collectively bargained. So certainly a big proponent of the PRO Act. And thank you again to Council President Hart for putting that forward here today. Echo the sentiment of multiple colleagues here. Looking forward to being out at John Glenn for the Battle of the Badges between our firefighters and our police officers here this Saturday. And then have a number of comments that I'm looking to save until we get to the in-person interviews, or to the in-person meetings, excuse me. So hopefully that will be with the new changes and guidelines from the CDC sooner rather than later, that we'll be able to meet up and go in person. And then lastly, I just wanted to thank Cody Bailey again and his team over at Hush for the continued investment in our community. Things like the axe throwing and also the wine tasting that were approved tonight. I know that is separate from Cody's investment, but things like that are going to make Westland a destination community for people all around Southeast Michigan to come to. So that kind of innovative business idea is what we need more of here in the city. So thank you to Cody and his team for their continued investment here in our community. Really looking forward to seeing that expansion there in Hush, and also to the wine tasting facility as well. And with that, I bid everyone adieu and hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Next, we have Council President Pro Tem Londo.
Thanks, President Hart. I'll start off tonight just by thanking everybody that reached out to me after the last council meeting and showed your support for my running the meeting. Council President Hart makes it look easy sometimes, and obviously it's not as easy as it looks. So I appreciate that. And it's a lot easier when everyone follows the rules. Speaking of the rules, I saw a lot of head shaking when the council president jumped in, but everyone's got their policies and procedures. Everyone swore to uphold those in front of the city clerk when you were all elected. I'm not going to go through and read it word for word, but I will read Article 5, Section 10 of City Council comments briefly. Council members may not engage in any political discussion or campaigning of any kind as it relates to elected officials, including themselves. No discussion shall take place regarding the council member's support or opposition to a current or past elected official, as well as any potential future candidates. The spirit of this policy is to ensure that council members shall not engage in campaigning or campaign-like behavior from the dais. So feel free to look that up. I'd like to see some repercussions as well. I mean, we have policies and procedures. If you want me just to rip them up, I'll rip them up and we'll just break the rules, but I think we're all adults here and we can follow the rules. So I'll leave it at that. Just briefly to clarify my vote or my move to table on the testing site. I did state that I wanted to hear more from the petitioner. I did make a suggestion about moving it, but I did want to hear more from the petitioner to some of the questions that were raised. So I just want to clarify that. As far as the one of the residents spoke about why we have a 3-minute limitation for citizens' comments. That's pretty much a standard protocol for many public meetings, at least a lot of the meetings that I have followed or have heard about. But here in Westland, we have more than 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes at the beginning of the meeting to speak to items particularly on the agenda. You have 3 minutes to speak during public comment to speak about anything you want. And you also get 3 minutes to speak if there's a public hearing. So the last meeting I chaired, a resident spoke for 9 minutes. So you have more than 3 minutes to speak. And you also have our phone numbers to contact us. All of our information is public, our emails, our phone numbers. And I have reached out when people email me to respond to them. Thank you to the administration for having the Marshall tour. I was able to make it out a couple Fridays ago. I was out there with the Senior Resources, Vic Barra, the Commission on Aging, Plant Moran Cressa, and another nonprofit organization to tour the building. It's a massive facility. I think they said 143,000 square foot building. The building bones are in great shape, so I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing more what's going to come of that if and when we do follow through with that. Congratulations to Geraldine Martin and Reverend Grisemi on their appointments to the DDA. Also, LaShawn Hart to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council, and lastly, Andrew Ward and Selvin Murrigan on their appointments to the TIFA board. I'll also piggyback and thank everyone that was involved in the dog vaccination event, the Wayne Ford Civic League. Vic Barra and so many others were instrumental in ensuring the process went smoothly and efficient. It was great for our residents that attended. Everyone seemed to be very happy. They had some happy dogs too. I'll also like to thank everybody involved in the park cleanups. Mike McDermott, Councilman McDermott was out at Cayley Park, so thank you for your efforts out there. As was stated, Council President Hart, myself, Councilwoman Rakowski, the mayor, many others from the Chamber of Commerce, Gretchen Heineke and her members were out there, along with the Westland Area JC, so I appreciate them for coming out as well. The parade was talked about, so the only thing I'll say about the parade is just, let's get out and have a good time. Everyone's been tied up in your house for over a year. Restrictions are starting to lift up now, and people are ready to get out and celebrate. Although that's not really a celebratory event, it's important that we get out there and honor the victims, that memorialize those folks that have died in the line of duty or died serving our country, excuse me. Lastly, Council President, I just want to welcome everyone back. Excited to welcome the Westland community and our neighboring community members back to the Westland Farmers and Artisan Market. Opening day will be on Thursday, May 27th from 3 to 7 p.m. The Westland Farmers and Artisan Market is located at 1901 North Carlson Road at the Farmers Market and Lions Pavilion at Central City Park. So come on out each and every Thursday from 3 to 7 p.m. The market will be open until October 14th and will be closed on August 5th, which is the week of Blues, Beers, and Barbecue. For more information about the market, to see when the special event days are, and to stay up to date on everything Westland Farmers and Artisan Market, please follow the Westland Farmers Market Facebook page. We hope to see you at the market. And lastly, I always have another one. Congratulations, President Hart. I said it last meeting, but you weren't here, but you were achieving your master's degree. So I think it's an incredible accomplishment. And I know you worked your tail off, juggling multiple jobs, being the council president, your family and school. And I know you were pretty stressed out, but you handled it well. And I appreciate you, and congratulations on your well-deserved success.
Thank you. Handled it well. I don't know. I've got a few extra pounds and a little less hair, but I'm handling it okay. Thank you very much. I'd like to start tonight's comments by thanking Councilwoman Rakowski for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you so much. And yes, to thank Council President Pro Tem Londo for running the meeting in my absence last week. Thank you for affording my family and I the opportunity to take part of that occasion. We were really thankful. So thank you. And thank you to all my colleagues as well. Let's see, where do we start? Well, first, we want to thank all the appointees, of course, all of the volunteers that stepped up to these boards and commissions. As everybody has said before, it's your activity and it's your volunteerism of bringing your talents and your skills and your abilities that are so much needed and so very appreciated. So we thank you for that. I want to thank you all. Actually apologize to you all for the little interruption I did have today. That was my eldest son barging in because he couldn't find my youngest son. So apparently it was an emergency. So I do apologize for that. That's one advantage and disadvantage of being home at the same time, and me not locking my door. So I do apologize, but I know most of you as parents and family members, you understand how that can be. So thank you for bearing with me on that. The Memorial Day parade, I look forward to seeing everybody there. Pro Tem Londo was good. I mean, it's important for us to get out there and support the veterans that are there supporting their brothers and sisters that didn't come home. And that's what's really important, right? I've always said it's kind of odd that Memorial Day should be in November, more gloomy, and Veterans Day should be in May, but it's just not the way it is. But it's something that's sometimes hard for us to process, where a day of memoriam isn't a day that is celebrated by, fireworks and barbecue and being with your family and loved ones and having a 3-day weekend. But it's important, and I ask you humbly to do attend the parade, do show support, not only for those that have given up their lives for all of our way of life, but also those veterans that are still there, who were there when they lost their friends for that in that service and in that line of duty. It's something that they'll never forget, and you being there for them will help them move through. So we'd appreciate if you can attend, and to keep this real spirit of Memorial Day in your minds and in your hearts. With that, I'll thank everybody for their time. I know it's going to be 3 weeks before I see you again, and it is my intention to move these meetings back in person starting June. So the city has, I've talked to the mayor briefly about a day or two ago, told him that it's my decision, especially with the CDC guidelines relaxing. I think the time is right. I think the time is appropriate, and then we can start transitioning ourselves back into what we would consider to be our previous normal, and a good way of getting back into doing business the way we should be doing it. So there's your answer. Please prepare yourself. And I know the administration and Vic Barr and I and Kyle will be working on what that transition looks like. I don't think we'll jump right back into fire, probably maintain some social distancing still, kind of a blended approach, and being smart about it. So that's it. Mayor, did you have something you wanted to add to that? Okay. So if there's anything else, thank you so much for all of your time. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support, Londo.
Herzberg and Londo. Good evening, everyone.
Night.